For over 100 years, the story of Titanic has been told and retold. We think we know it, but the truth is, the full story has been locked away in the crushing dark, 2.5 miles beneath the waves. Well, now, we're becoming digital detectives, using some absolutely mind-blowing technology to finally solve its greatest mysteries. It always has to start here, right? With the people. An account like this from survivor Jack Thayer, it just gives you chills. It paints such a horrifying picture. But for every story we know, there are 1,000 more that went down with the ship. For decades, all we really had were bits and pieces. A blurry photo from a tiny submarine, a sonar blip. It was like trying to understand a massive cathedral by peeking through a keyhole. You just can't see the whole picture. But that is all about to change. So we are now witnessing what's being called a digital resurrection. A truly groundbreaking project has given us a new tool, one so powerful it's like we've drained the entire North Atlantic, letting us investigate the wreck as if it were sitting in broad daylight. Just try to wrap your head around the scale of this thing. 2 little unmanned subs spent hundreds of hours meticulously mapping every single inch of the wreck site. In total, they took over 700,000 high-resolution pictures. And all those pictures add up to 16 terabytes of data. That is a truly staggering amount. We're talking about the largest underwater scanning project in history, creating a model with just unbelievable millimeter-perfect detail. So what do you do with all that data? You create this, a digital twin. And let's be clear, this isn't just some cool 3D model from a video game. Nope, this is a scientifically perfect, full-size replica. It's a virtual ghost of the Titanic that we can now fly through and explore, uncovering secrets that have been hidden for more than a century. Okay, so with this incredible new tool, the first mystery we have to tackle is the most basic one. We've all heard the story, right? A glancing blow from an iceberg, but how? How does that sink a ship that was literally famous for being unsinkable? Well, the first thing this new evidence does is shatter a myth we've all seen in the movies. That idea of a massive 300-foot gash being torn in the side of the ship? Totally wrong. The reality is the total damage was just 18 square feet. That's barely bigger than a couple of doors. The whole disaster unfolded in just 6.3 seconds. The iceberg didn't slice the hull open. It was more like a can opener. It popped a series of small holes along the side. And here's the fatal part. This breached 6 of the ship's watertight compartments. The Titanic was a tough ship. She was designed to survive 4 compartments flooding. But 6? There was no coming back from that. It wasn't the size of the damage, it was the location. And this right here is the most gut-wrenching irony of the entire disaster. The new simulations are clear. If First Officer Murdoch hadn't tried to steer away, if they had just hit the iceberg head-on, the bow would have been crushed, sure, but only 2, maybe 3 compartments would have flooded. She would have been crippled, but she would have stayed afloat. The very act of trying to save the ship is what doomed it. But this new evidence, it's about so much more than just bent steel and physics. It's rewriting the human stories. This digital twin is finding clues that are finally honoring acts of heroism that were lost to the chaos of that night. Let's go back to First Officer William Murdoch. For over a century, he's been painted as a coward, the man who made the fatal mistake. The newspapers back then were brutal, and his reputation was destroyed. But hidden deep in the data of the digital twin, investigators found the proof that clears his name. A lifeboat davit, that's the crane that lowers the boats, was found frozen in the upright, ready-to-launch position. This proves Murdoch never gave up. He was on that deck, fighting to launch one last boat until the very end. He was a hero. And then there's the story of Chief Engineer Joseph Bell and his team. As water poured into the ship, all 35 of his engineering officers stayed at their posts, deep in the heart of the vessel. They knew they had no chance of escape. Why? To keep the lights on and the wireless radio working. For 100 years, that was just a legend of their bravery. Now, it's a proven fact. Lying in the debris field, the scan pointed a single steam valve, frozen in the open position. This is the valve they had to turn by hand to reroute steam to the emergency generators. It's physical proof of their final act, a choice that kept the distress calls going out and ultimately saved the lives of the 700 people who made it into the lifeboats. This digital scan is also showing us the truth about the ship's final moments. So many of us have that image from the movie in our heads, right? The Titanic snapping cleanly in two. Well, the reality was a whole lot more violent. The ship didn't just break apart. A huge section, a full 20% of the hull, was completely obliterated. It didn't snap, it disintegrated under the incredible stress, turning a huge part of the ship into a storm of shrapnel. As one of the lead investigators put it, the damage is so extreme it looks like the ship was hit by a missile. It's just catastrophic. For the hundreds of people still in that part of the ship, the end would have been terrifyingly quick. So beyond solving these long-lost mysteries, this digital twin has another, arguably more important job to do. It's about preservation. It is a perfect, permanent record of a sacred site that is literally disappearing before our eyes. Scattered across the seabed are these incredibly personal items. You see a child's doll, a lucky charm made from a shark's tooth, and maybe most poignant of all, pairs of shoes, lying on the seafloor, marking the final resting place of a victim. These aren't just objects, they're the last echoes of the lives that were lost. And that's why this preservation is so urgent. The Titanic isn't going to be there forever. It's being actively eaten by colonies of iron-consuming bacteria called rusticles. Seriously, within just a few decades, the entire wreck is going to collapse into nothing more than a rust stain on the ocean floor. This digital twin has basically done the impossible. It's hit pause. It has frozen the wreck in time for all future generations to study and remember. It's answered questions we've had for over a century. But it also makes you wonder, right? As the real ship slowly fades away into the abyss, what other secrets will it take with it?